Hello there and welcome. It's Angie Cimbalo here today with a cute Christmas card that we're going to be making on the PHOTOPLAY Paper Say It With Stamps YouTube channel. Let's take a look at the products we're going to use for today's card. First, we're going to be using the brand new Christmas Cactus stamp set. It has the cutest images and some really sweet sentiments, plus a few other little stamps like some holly and stars and ornaments. Next, we're going to be using 3 dies from the A2 rounded rectangle set. For our background, we're going to be using one of the stencils from the 3-piece striped stencil set. These are made for slimline size, but you can use them for A2 cards too. And for our cardstock, we're going to be using the Color Me cardstock. I love this cardstock for coloring, especially with Zig Clean Color markers, which is what I'm going to be using today. Let's start with the background. For the stencil, I'm going to use Pixie Spray because it makes it nice and sticky, especially with a stencil like this, where you want your lines to be really clean. You want it to stick. You can choose any colors that you like for this card. I chose greens, blues, and some reds. I spent quite a bit of time making this background, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video and play some music while I do that. I'll be back in a minute. If you want to skip this part, you can jump to the time that's listed on the screen. After cleaning my stencil, I took the largest of the rounded rectangle dies and cut out my background. Next, I'm going to use the largest 2 to cut out a frame for my striped panel. I'll save the inside piece for a later project. Now it's time to stamp some of those cute images. I stamped the whole set by attaching it to the lid of my MISTI with double-sided tape. That way I have everything stamped. Once I have it all stamped, I'm going to use the matching dies to cut each of the images. I like to die cut the images out first before coloring them, and there's a very good reason for that. If you look at these 3 holly dies that I cut, this one I did a terrible job. The die slipped and it didn't come out very good. Now on this one, it's just perfect. So that's one of the reasons why I cut first and then color. Since I spend a long time coloring each image, I want to make sure that the die cut is cut correctly before I color it. In the past, I've die cut them after I colored them, and the die slipped and it messed up the whole image. So that's why you'll always see me die cut first and color second. I'm going to speed up the video while I color, and I'll be back in a few minutes. If you'd like to skip the coloring, just jump to the time on the screen. Now I'm taking one of the smaller rectangle dies and cutting it out and then inking the top and the bottom. Now it's time to put the card together. I start by adding the white frame around my stripe panel. I use liquid glue, that way it gives me a few minutes to move it around if I need to. Now I'm going to attach the middle section. That's where I'm also going to put the sentiment. You can choose whichever sentiment you like from the set. I chose the Merry Cact-mas because I thought that was just so cute. I put the cactus with the lights off to the right and then the other larger one on the left, both with glue. And the center one, the cute one with the hat, I added that with foam tape. I also used foam tape to add the A2 rounded rectangle to my card base. I put it right in the center. And to finish my card, I added some red gems, and then I also added some glossy accents on all of the lights and the berries with the holly. I really enjoyed making this card today, and I thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to come back often to the Photo Play Paper Say It With Stamps YouTube channel for more inspiration. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.